Hey guys, what's up? GreenMachineSam back with another video, and today, of course, we have another Madden 22 roster update with free agency well underway, and I think it already being a week into free agency, some big moves have been made. Now, of course, I have been updating the roster daily. If you have not noticed or have not went back to download, I have been uploading it daily, almost even twice a day, sometimes at the midway point near like noon, and then when I get home from work and stuff like that around 10 or 11 p.m., even sometimes closer to the next day of like 12 p.m., and that's even Pacific time. So it might be even later for you if you are on the East Coast. Now, I've had a lot of questions come my way since doing the roster. One of them has been, what are you on? I'm on PS4. I'm sorry for anybody that does not know that I'm on PS4. I'm on PS4. If I had a PS5 or an Xbox One or an Xbox Series S or X, I would totally update the game, but I don't, and I don't have the money for it right now. I wish I did, because I really want to play the new MLB The Show on a new console. So if you're feeling really generous, hit me up. I'll fucking gladly tell you my address so you can send me a goddamn PlayStation or Xbox. No fucking joke, but I'm not sending it back. It's not like, oh, hey, can you update my Xbox and then send it back to me? No, I'm not fucking doing that. And I'm kind of kidding, but if you really wanted to send me an Xbox or PS5, like an Xbox Series S or X, and send it to me, I would gladly take it and I would gladly start uploading. So it just depends on how much you really want the game updated. Um, Another thing, I cannot get the money correct on all the contracts. We're going to say that again. I cannot get the money on all the contracts correct. It is very hard to do. Some players have not been released from their teams because I am slowly going through teams and fixing them completely. I'll show you. Sorry, I just burped a little bit. I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. And then, thirdly, if you're going to start a new franchise, or if you even want to play an exhibition, whatever, if you were going to go play a game, you can't play online, of course. If you're going to go play a game, you have to load the roster first. Okay, so if you're going into a play now game, you have to go in, load the roster from your files, and then go in and play the game. That's the way it works. I'm trying to fix depth charts as well as I'm going, because sometimes when you sign players, it moves them to the top of the depth chart, and then you have a bunch of like 60 overalls sitting at the top of the depth chart for no fucking reason. Franchise, same thing. You're going to have to load the roster. So go in, go to your files. It should say load or delete files. Go to roster. Pick the roster that you downloaded or the one that you named and grab it. And then you guys have to create a new franchise. I don't understand how people don't understand this. You have to create a new franchise. So go to create new league. And then it says use NFL roster, use preseason roster. You have to use active roster. But this is only if you loaded the roster. If you have not loaded the roster, the right roster will not load. It will be the last one Madden gave you. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we can go look at the rosters. Now, like I said, I have not gotten everything done that I wanted to get done. I'm trying to get through it, but some things I'm just struggling with getting done. Mainly the big contracts in the NFL, because if I release them, they're only getting signed to a 3-year deal that is pretty cheap. So what you guys are going to want to do is head to share and manage files. Now the good thing is when you go down to download community files, I am the top roster now. So I'm the top roster. I'm not the top file, but I am the top roster. So it is very easy to find. Okay? So it's not like super difficult where you're like, oh my god, I can't find it. It should be pretty relatively simple to find it. Even if you can't find it on the main page, in terms of how many downloads it's had, you can go into the roster section. You should be able to find me very easily. 2 of my rosters have over 700 downloads. My real roster is over 51,000, almost 52,000, and the last one has like 400 downloads. So it's going to be above a lot of people's rosters. Like I said, it's right here. I normally try to keep the date in the description so you don't have to scroll over, but it is 3/21. It's been uploaded on 3/21. So it is good to go. Some of the latest stuff going on, I'll just read some stuff off. Trey Waynes got cut by the Bengals. Laquan Treadwell to the Jags. Zach Pascal to the Eagles. Mariota to the Falcons. Winston back to the Saints. Matt Ryan traded to the Colts. Duke Johnson to the Bills. Lorenzo Carter to the Falcons. Patrick Ricard signed a 3-year extension. Matt Breida to the Giants. Trent Brown back to the Pats for 2 years. Corey Littleton to the Panthers for a year. Gerald Everett to the Chargers for 2 years. La'el Collins to the Bengals for 3 years. So those are just some of the major ones. I did leave some stuff out that just isn't as important in my opinion. So you guys are going to want to download. You have to download it. Now, if you already downloaded it before, it says either overwrite or save as new file. You can do either or. It doesn't matter that much. If you want to just overwrite the file name, keep the same file name, but have it up to date, just do that. If you want to save it as a completely new roster, go ahead and do that. Now, if you do scroll down, you will see Madden 22 roster update. You guys will not be able to download this. It gives you an error message, or it should. Yes. So, and it's also from 9/5/21, so you don't want that. Okay. So, or you guys can search up my online ID. So go over here. Remember, this is for PS4 only. PS4. Green Machine Sam. Boom. I'll bring all my rosters up. I'll even bring one up that has nothing to do with this, but it will still be there. Yours should load a little bit faster. Like I've said before, my Wi-Fi is complete ass. Like I can't play any online multiplayer games. I can play MLB at a fine pace. I can play, some other games at a fine pace, but most of them I can't play. Like I said, 1 over 800, 1 over 700, 1 over 400, almost 500 now, and 1 over 51,000. So here we go. So you can download any of the four. Any of the four do not matter at this moment. They're all the same. Retirement will get something special once the draft is over. I'm just not going to keep up with that roster and doing the things I was doing to it until the end of the draft, or then I'm going to have to make 2 separate draft classes, which will then be over 300 players each, so 600 players, and I'll have to do all the moves separately, and sometimes it does get strenuous, especially with me fixing some of the teams. So once you download one of them, you guys are going to want to head to your load files, of course, to load the file and get it ready to go. So I'm just going to grab the major one, Madden 23 roster update. You can look it up by its name, or you can look it up by my online ID, or you can just download it from the front page. Either way, it should be simple enough to find. Like I said, we're the #1 roster, so if you really have to, you can scroll over to roster in the download community file section and get it from there. Now, what was I talking about when I said fixing contracts? Well, if you scroll down to a guy like, I don't think I have the Bears completely fixed yet. For some reason, I didn't do them. If you scroll over to a guy like Jamar Chase, he's a rookie, right? He has 3 years left now. Now, the money is not correct. I'm trying to get it to the best place I can. I'm going through and releasing them and signing them back to how many years they have left on their deal. Or then, when I do make my rookies for this upcoming draft, those rookies and last year's rookies would be coming off contract at the same time. Now, there's one major flaw in the system. I can't do guys like Jesse Bates or Joe Mixon. Why is... Oh, yeah, Jesse Bates is on a franchise tag. Never mind. I'm not worrying about Jesse Bates. But a guy like Chibodi Awuzie, he has decent money. I don't want to release him because it will fuck up the cap. And then you will have too much money to spend. A guy like Joe Mixon, I don't want to release because then it's going to fuck up the cap because he's earning over $10 million for the next 3 years. I won't be able to fix that. The most I'll be able to give him is like $4 million a year, $5 million a year. So some of these higher paid guys, Josh Allen, another guy, I can't release them and get that extra year off their contract because there's no way I can give Josh Allen $51 million in the free agency thing. Now, if EA would just let me fucking do roster control and give me, or give all of us at least, a way to fix contracts and abilities and all this fun stuff, we could make the game a lot more enjoyable and a lot more playable. But they don't want to do that. So I went through and basically released everybody. If they're a rookie, they got 3 years, of course. If they have 1 or 2 years left. So anybody that says they have 1 year of experience, they have 2 years left on their contract, normally. Unless they got signed to a 3-year for some reason. So Gabriel Davis has 2 years. I think he's getting paid a little bit more than what his original contract had, but it is to make up for some of the other players not getting paid as much as they were. Marquez Stevenson was getting paid for 4 years. He now has 3. It's a little bit cheaper than what it was. Isaiah McKinney got re-signed, so he's a different type of contract. Like Stephon Diggs, I cannot fix this. So, I have, for the most part, the Bears, Bengals, Bills, Broncos, Browns all done. They're all done. They're all up to date. They have their practice squad players. They have as much up to date as I can humanly go. Now, of course, jersey numbers are not always correct. I will fix them when I can. But for example, some people like to put Deshaun Watson in the number 4 jersey. Anthony Walker is still technically allocated to the team for some reason. So I can't give him the number 4 just yet. And then the one other team that is done is the Panthers for some fucking reason. I was going through and fixing some of their stuff, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to fix their team while I'm here. So I got that done, like you guys can see. So I went through, got their team done. This is just from the rosters online. A lot of the guys, if you think that they are not supposed to be there because it has a 1-year deal in your normal roster, is because they were probably a practice squad player or a low-end player that got signed to a reserve contract at the end of the season. So I'm going through and I'm fixing teams as much as possible. I'm going to try to get 5 to 10 done a day. So my next couple are going to be Bucks, Cardinals, Chargers, Chiefs, Colts, and Cowboys probably. One more thing. If you want your team done, comment on the video. Say, hey, can you please do my team? I would love it if you could do my team. The first 5 to respond, or the 5 most liked ones, will probably get done on the video. But go make sure your team is either done or fixed before you come going, oh, well, you didn't fix my team yet. I'm trying to get to as many teams as possible, but it is kind of difficult. It does take some time because you got to release players. You got to change their overall. You got to put them back on the team. You got to change their overall back. You got to find their jersey number, get them back to the right position, all that fun stuff. And it does take a little bit of time. You have to sign players to then fill the positional requirements as well. And then some guys, I know like on the Broncos, they have a couple guys that are restricted free agents. One of them is, I think, Griffin. Yeah, Griffin, Reed, and PJ Locke. I just left them on the team. I don't have to change positions. I don't have to change requirements. I can just leave them on the team. I would assume they're probably going to re-sign eventually. Who knows, though, because they do have a new coach as well. So there are some players that are technically free agents, but I left them on the team because it just makes more sense to leave them on the team because they're probably going to re-sign if they get a contract from them. Now, if I'm missing anybody on a certain team, go ahead and make sure that you do have the latest Madden roster from me. I might have it already up to date. You maybe just don't have the latest roster. But if I do have somebody missing from a certain team that you know, hey, this guy signed on this team, or if I placed him on the wrong team, go ahead and let me know. Because with me looking through all my sources, so I use CBS, ESPN, and Sport Track. I use all 3 of their websites to try to figure out who's getting signed where for what. There's a couple guys that I know got fucked up. On one of the pages, it said George, the free safety for the Colts, the backup free safety, George Odom or something. It said he signed back with the Colts for 3 years on one of the pages. He actually signed with the 49ers. One of the pages had Contavious Street signing with the Rams. He signed with the Saints. So I've had a couple of those. ESPN said that Hayden Hurst signed with the Browns. He actually signed with the Bengals. So there are some stuff that if I did put them on the wrong team for whatever reason, or if they're not in the right position or not right overall, let me know and I will go fix it and then put it back out. Now, granted, it will come out with the next roster update. I'm not just going to hop back on or like come home from work and just be like, okay, I'm going to get this guy done and then send it out. I'm going to get it out with the next roster update. But like I said, I do upload these daily. I do fix them daily. It's not like, oh, hey, his video hasn't come out in a week. He hasn't updated it. I do update them. I'm going to continue to update them. And I appreciate the support. These videos have been popping off like crazy. With that being said, guys, I'm out. Peace. If you guys have any other questions, contact me down below in the comment section, and I will try to get to you as soon as possible. I'm out. Peace.